I thought I would celebrate the completion of the restoration on the Coleman Model 373 cabin stove with a little lighting. I suspect most folks have never even seen one of these, much less seen it lit. So this stove was built in the early 1930s. It's called a cabin stove. It was meant to be set up in old hunting cabins or something like that. And a couple of reasons, or a couple of features of that is, one, it doesn't have any wind protection. You can see it's just pretty wide open. It also has a very large fuel tank. I haven't measured the capacity of it, but it's probably close to a gallon. So this is one of these things that you would fill up and then just leave at your hunting cabin when you come back in and cook up your dinner. The grate here on top is cast iron, as is the burner. This cast iron was very long, and I guess over the years the heat got to it, and it actually has a crack right there and a crack right there. The previous owner has welded little metal bars, steel bars underneath it. It's actually a pretty good design. You can barely even see them until you turn it over. So I guess what makes these relatively rare is, number one, its age. It's old. Like I said, early 1930s. Number two, I don't think they just made a lot of cabin stoves. It was not a popular item for them. And then, of course, number three was these were fairly cheaply built. This was all thin steel, which when I got it was in a mess, very rusty. The tank, which sits underneath here, was also steel and rusted through. I was very fortunate to find this tank that another member had off a Model 16 heater. It's an Everdur tank, so it is not rusted. But I did get the original valve swapped back on it. I'll talk about that valve here in just a second. But so I got it all stripped down, broke a bunch of bolts, got new stainless steel ones on there, made me a sticker, and here we are. 373. Alright, well, let's get this thing lit. Talk about the valve here real quick though. So this is an instant light, pretty early instant light, but it's got it doesn't have that slant style. It's the more, I guess, modern style like you'd find in a 220F lantern. But it doesn't work like your typical stove. It does not have the lighting lever. Instead of the lighting lever, it has a regular valve wheel like you would find on a lantern, the open 1/4 turn to the left and light, which is this wheel right here. And it even has a little stop right there, so I can only turn it a 1/4 turn before I have to push in this safety knob to let it go the rest of the way. So that's in its instant light mode, and then while that's open, I can open the generator wheel with that knob, just like you would a regular stove. This is your fuel cap, and this is your old external quick light style valve stem. So I'm going to get this pumped up real quick, and then we'll talk about lighting. Alright, so I got her pumped up, and we're going to work on getting this thing lit. Now, even though this is an instant lighting model, this huge, thick cast iron manifold really does a number on vaporized fuel. When it's cold, even the fuel air mixture that's coming through here in FA mode is it's going to cause it to pool up a lot in here. In fact, so much, it pools up so much that Coleman even installed a handy dandy drain plug right here where you can release that fuel. And of course, the colder it is, the more that's going to happen. So what I'm actually going to do is give it a preheat with the old propane torch. They even put a little preheat cup in there because they know this was going to happen. So you can fill that with denatured alcohol if you want to, light that up, get a preheat. That also helps a lot. But I'm going to give it a preheat just to make things go a lot faster. Alright, decided to elevate the camera here so you can see the whole operation a little bit. Okay, so this is actually a brass generator tube. You don't see that much on the stoves. I don't really know how much it needs. I hit the manifold there a little bit too. Should help it along over here. Alright, so we're going to open our 1/4 turn here. Open this. Open the generator tube. start to hear it hiss. There we go. Let's get this generator good and wide open. Throw a little more air in there. Since we're good and preheated, I could probably go ahead and open the valve all the way, the lower valve. So again, this bottom wheel would be the same as your lighting lever on your modern stoves. Was replaced by the lighting lever on the modern stoves, but in this function, it is very similar to the valve wheel on a lantern. So we can go ahead and pop this guy open all the way. Since we were preheated, we got a nice blue flame. There we go. About died on me. Nice. There's a nice little onion for you, I like to call it. Let's let that get nice and hot, and then we will open the aux burner. So the aux burner here, aux wheel, is the that looks more like what you would see on the 1940s, 50s, 60s stoves, and it's got the this little spring coil lever instead of the solid steel one, or pressed steel one. But it doesn't work any different. You just turn the wheel and light. It doesn't look very good for wide open, does it? Alright, I threw a little bit more air into it. Seems to be rolling now, but again, keep in mind we are outside. There is some wind, which, like I said, these things really do not like any breeze whatsoever, and it loses heat really fast. I tried cooking on this thing one of the first times after I got it first successfully lit, and it just wasn't cooking because there was a little bit of a breeze blowing that day. But that's ready to cook. And that's it. That's the Coleman 373 cabin stove. Look for one at your local Ace Hardware. If not, good luck.